Mid
Yeah, it looked
first.
like y'all were running behind earlier.
We started running
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Guys, we're going to enter back into our work session. We'll turn it back over to Ms. Brittany.
Is this on? Up next, we have Public Works and Fleet. I think they're gonna present together, and their presentations start on page 55 of the book.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
How y'all doing?
Good, good.
Thank y'all for being here.
Well, we're happy to be here, and we'll make it nice and short for you. We have, let's start with Public Works, and then we'll move into the fleet budget.
Okay.
I just want to hit a few highlights. There aren't a lot of changes to the Public Works budget from last year. A few of the changes would be there's an extra $30,000 for paved roads line item because of asphalt has gone up significantly. And along the same lines, $13,000 extra in dirt roads, unpaved roads, because gravel again has gone up. And we need to purchase some barricades and some barrels and cones through the sign shop line item, and that would be an extra $45,000 for those materials. And we're looking at adding another growth suppression spray, so that'll be 3 per year on about 140 miles of roadway. So that'd be an extra $10,000, and we're asking for 2 message boards. The county needs some of those electronic message boards, especially Newton County. Of course, anybody in the county could use them to put on the side of the road, let people know, what construction to be expecting and that sort of thing.
Let me jump in there and help you out right now, Chester. So we're getting ready to do. So where that would have came in handy, or would come in handy, is the bridge that's on Brown Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
The first one down by Snapping Shows, going that way, and also the one over by the Career Academy, and over on Jack Neely, where the roundabout is about to go. I was going to call you about that. I didn't know we didn't have any.
Well, we don't have any. I mean, if we need to rent some, we can do that for now.
We definitely got to get that message out that there's about to be an interruption in traffic right there. So if we need to rent some, we definitely need to do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, sir. But for the next year's budget, we'd like to have a couple to use when we need them. We're also asking for 3 additional equipment operators because Chris, we want to get an extra mowing crew going. We have equipment sitting there ready to go. We just need 3 more operators to do it. So how many times a year would that be? We get rounds to make with an extra crew?
We can do at least 5 to 6 if we can add another crew. Right now, we only 3 to 4 with the 1 crew. We're going to try to start in opposite directions and see if we can double up that number.
So those are a summary of the changes. Does anybody have any questions about the Public Works budget?
I'll let Commissioner Mason go first, but I have a couple too. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. I want to say that I appreciate the work that you do. I can't speak for other districts, but the residents in District 2 have given me great feedback lately. And so I just wanted to communicate that feedback to you. They are very appreciative of the repaving and that has been done lately. They are more appreciative of they're noticing that the roadways in District 2 are a lot cleaner. And I'm sure that's in regards to not only Public Works, but our partnership with the Sheriff's Office, and, you know, we all come together as a unit and as a team to ensure that we reach our final objective. And our final objective is to have a great quality of life for all of us. And what I try to communicate effectively to the residents in District 2 is that you're not, these services are also being provided by taxpayers. Even though they're employees, they're taxpayers too. The Board of Commissioners, we're taxpayers too. And so we collectively are taxpayers, stakeholders within our community. And so that's why we want to make sure that it's a great place for all of us to live, to work, and to play. And so I just wanted to say thank you for the difference that I have seen and that some of the residents in District 2 have seen. And I just wanted to verbally communicate to you the feedback that I have personally received here lately and seen as I'm driving around the district, and say thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Good,
Thank-
thank
I'm done, Mr.
Okay. Commissioner Calvin, then I come back behind him.
Y'all do a great job. I don't know if you get told that enough, but I'm gonna say it. Y'all do a great job. Every time I've ever asked somebody to call Chester or whatever, y'all get whatever the problem was fixed. So I appreciate it because
Well, we tried
there
to.
ain't nothing worse than having to deal with somebody on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And cause they don't understand stuff, you know. I remember a few years ago when it was, raining real bad. Everybody fussed about the grass. Well, you can't cut it when it's raining, lady. I'm sorry. But y'all have done a good job over there, so I appreciate everything. So I don't know what you asked for in the budget, but don't worry about it from me. I'm good with it.
Well, I mean, on that line, I mean, we wanted to continue the trash pickup crews with the temps. We have a bunch of money in there, the same as last year. And I haven't, actually, I don't know if you want to talk about the trash. We've about got it.
It's looking better. I mean,
It is.
like
Yeah.
Commissioner Mason said, we're getting a grip on it. It's not just not there, but we're going
Right.
back. We know when to hit it and,
Yeah,
you know, try to stay ahead of it. So I
yeah.
think things are starting to look better, shaping up.
I guess the worst road is the one going to the landfill, because people don't cover
It's
their
always
stuff
gonna
and
be
it
down
blows out.
A lot of that
All
comes
the
from
trash truck blowing off.
contract trucks that go in and out of the landfill too, that, you know, it comes out of the back of them.
Yeah,
We do that about once a week.
yeah. All right, I'm good.
Thank you. You pretty much, said, you already talked about what I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask about the cleanup crews and, wanted to make sure that they was still in the budget, but I do see it here, yeah. And you saying we're gonna try to run a extra crew if we get approved, right?
If
Okay.
we can get the employees on board, we will. We've got the equipment, we've actually got the tractors, we got the mowers are supposed to be coming this Friday. And just, you know, fingers crossed that we can get the staff on board.
Okay, and we are planning on still paving at least 22 miles, right? Okay, cool. Go ahead, Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Another question I forgot. I'm seeing the advertising budget increase by 2,800. Can you kind of just clarify what we're going to be using those advertising dollars, or what you're proposing to use those advertising dollars for or toward?
Well, I looked back at this year, we're spending a good bit more money on advertising, because we have to advertise in our legal organ, which is the Covington News, every time we bid out a project.
Okay.
And so we've had a lot of projects going to bid this year, and we'll have a good many next year. And so gets kind of expensive, so that's what that's for.
So it's primarily going towards the bidding
right.
project advertisement for
Pretty much all of it, yes.
all of it through our legal organ.
That's correct.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, guys, we greatly appreciate it. Well, we got you next.
Chris is going to
Yeah.
present the fleet.
Got the fleet.
I'm just gonna go through and hit the highlights, and if y'all see something that you wanna stop and go back to, I'll do it, but, we had an increase of, I think it was, $30,000 in the building repair for fleet. That's due to, we have 3 air conditioning units that are about 20 years old that, we've had them worked on constantly this year, and, you know, they finally come to a conclusion that we need to just go ahead and replace those. It'd be cheaper to replace them than it will be to keep putting parts on. Our maintenance agreements went up about $5,500. That's our software updates for, Mitchell On Demand or Cummins South, software for work on the fire trucks or whatnot, you know, all the vehicles, we have to have that updated. It's a yearly agreement. Wrecker services went up $10,000. That's primarily due to these newer engines, fire engines or any other kind of engines that are Tier 4 finals. They have to regen every so often for EPA, EPD requirements. On these scenes, they can't do it, and a lot of times when they come back, the truck will go into what's called limp mode. It won't be able to travel back. It can get to a safe distance and stop, so we have to tow them in a lot and then hook this software up to them, so that's where that increase comes in. Tires and tubes, we went up 25,000 roughly. That's just, we're taking on more vehicles. We're trying to run a little, you know, we try to run higher quality tires, especially on public safety vehicles, something that's gonna be running up and down the road at a high rate of speed, so that cost has increased, and just the cost of inflation. Oil, grease, and antifreeze, the same thing. We went up, I think, $10,000 on it. It's just going up, and we've got more vehicles that we got to service now than we had, so we added that. Gas and diesel, you bought it, you know why it went up. It went up $6,000, and we also added with fleet a new service truck that's a diesel, so it, you know, takes a little bit extra. Other than that, I mean, everything's pretty well the same. I think we had altogether about a $74,000 increase for that department. Any questions?
Any questions, guys? Commissioner Mason? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You may have explained it, I may have missed it. The increase on repairs and maintenance from 6,500 to 35,000.
That was on the building?
It says repairs and maintenance, and it has building
Yes.
afterwards. I know you
Right.
talked about the maintenance agreements, but I may have missed the repairs and maintenance.
Yeah, that was for the 3 air conditioning units inside
Okay.
the fleet building and the warehouse that we've probably put 15 to 16,000 in this year, just trying to keep them limping by till we can replace them.
Thank you. That was my question.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Cowell?
Yeah, and this is probably for Brittany. Are we buying their equipment on state bids?
Yeah.
Everything?
If it's on state contract, then we buy it on state contract. If not, then
Okay.
we get 3 quotes.
I know we got 2 tractor dealers now in Newton County. You got Bobcat and you got Hayes Tractor. I think they probably get cut out of the state bid. I don't know. But is there any way we can prioritize local bidding?
The way,
I know there's several tractor dealers down in Madison.
Mhm.
There's a Massey Ferguson, John Deere, Kubota,
Yeah.
I think's down there.
our purchasing policy allows us to go to local dealers and ask them to match state contract price.
We can go to a local vendor and ask them to match the state contract?
Mhm.
And if they can, you can buy from the local vendor?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's as good as we can get. I don't know what kind of tractor you prefer. You probably are a Massey Ferguson or John Deere person.
We've got Massey, John Deere, and Kubota. We like them all, as long as they'll cut grass.
There you go. But I know we got this Bobcat dealer in town now,
Yeah.
so you might wanna talk to them.
And we do deal with them a lot. We buy a lot of our implements through them, and we've
Okay.
got several skid loaders.
Okay. I just wanna make sure that the local bidders, local vendors get an opportunity to
Absolutely.
to bid on it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it.
Up next, we have our Senior Services Department, and looks like we got Miss Frida Reed and Miss Teresa Williams, and they begin on page 66.
Hey, Ma. How you doing?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Frida Reed, Senior Services. Y'all doing okay today?
We're doing good.
Good. It's a great day to be in Newton County.
Great day to be alive.
Amen. I agree with that.
Yes.
Y'all
We're
can go ahead.
saddened right now, so but we'll be all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Gonna miss our little teddy bear. Yes.
Yeah. You right about that?
Yep.
We're ready when
Okay.
you're ready.
Oh, okay. Well, if you look at our budget, we really didn't make any changes on our essential items. Our biggest change was personnel. And the reason why our change in personnel is because the increase of the population of seniors, and our building is expanding, so that means I need to put another person in that building, because the building is not the same building, it's an extra building. And so we have to put personnel over there as well. Our increase in our on-site meals are increasing. We do already have that in our personnel budget, but I'm just giving you a little overview of how we're growing over there. So really, it's personnel that made our budget go up to 1 point what?
1.274.
Okay. But it was personnel, and I like to tell the commissioners that I appreciate the increases in their pay. I have a good staff, a great staff. It's nothing negative I can say about my staff, except I don't have enough of them. And so if there's any questions the commissioners would like to ask, and thank you, our buses are here. One of them will be here on Friday, the other one will be here on Friday. But we are ready to roll out. Today we picked up 32 people. We were short a driver, but our new driver, she got trained really well, real quick. So, so any questions?
Any questions, guys? Commissioner Mason?
I have a question. I just want to say I love you all. And I love the work that you do. I love the passion that you have behind the work that you do. And I don't know if we appreciate you enough. And so I just wanted to take this small opportunity just to say thank you. Every time I come to the Senior Center, it is a well-oiled machine. I mean, well-run. And so I understand the reasoning for expansion. I understand the reasoning for when we expand, we do need more employees. And just from what Brittany has told us, everybody across the board in every department, we're going to see an increase in personnel because of the growth of our community. And so when our community grows, our services grow, and so we need personnel or human capital to help us meet those service needs. And so I get it, it makes sense, and I think you all do an amazing job. And hopefully in the future, we will be able to expand not only just the building, but we'll be able to expand locations for our senior services as well, to expand those services and to continue to meet that need. And so I just want to say thank you. Ms. Frida, know I have a special place in my heart for her anyway, because she lives in my district.
And I do like to address this. I just like to let our commissioners know what's going on with us. And the people that I'm looking at already know what's going on with us, but I thought I'd give you a few little statistics of where we stand. On the back, you'll see our statistics, the ages that we serve right now. When we did this report, we were 590. Now it's a little bit more than that. But, and then we wanted just to show you the meals that we serve, our graphs. Some of our graphs you're gonna see where they're a little lower, but last year we were not only serving the senior center, but we were serving the community, seniors in the community that had food insecurity, so we were serving them as well. So we want to say we appreciate you, everything that you do. And I would like to say too that this group here in the last 4-6 years have been very supportive of the senior services. I've worked here in the county for 21 years, and these last 6 to 8 years have been enjoyable being part of the senior services. And we didn't really have to really beg for anything, because you saw our needs and our wants, and the fact that Newton County is now heavy populated with seniors, and we're still growing.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right, Ms. Frida, because we now see all of our baby boomers, and our baby boomers population was a large population, a large age bracket. And so now a lot of them are retiring. And I get that because my mother was a baby boomer. She's retired, and so I get it why that need is increasing, because all of our baby boomers are retired and they're seniors now. And so
And
we
they're
want to
more
make sure that we
active.
take care of them.
They're more active.
Yes,
It's
they
not
are.
bingo and meals. They're more active now.
They're very
I'm a
active.
senior myself, so proud of it,
Yeah.
proud of it, very proud of it.
Man. You had anything? No, okay. But also,
No
Yeah.
questions.
yeah,
I was prepared.
Let me just say this. I appreciate everything y'all do. But Commissioner Mason, being the politician that he is, he's already told everybody what we feel.
Okay,
So,
thank you so much.
But he's done a good job.
Thank you, thank you, thank
but
you.
we are gonna add on to it before you go. So we are excited to be bonding, the projects that we are bonding and, talking about a new location, Commissioner Mason. We're gonna be looking for a new location, and then, you know, talking about personnel, we're gonna be looking for more personnel to help run that new location. So we're excited about the things that you guys are doing over there. Your leadership, y'all leadership is, I mean, it's just, it's amazing. So thank y'all for being that voice for the seniors in this community, because, hey, I can tell you this, it's the seniors who, you know, they lead the way. They show us the way. And so thank y'all.
All right, one more question. Anyone have any land for sale?
You just be ye patient. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all. Thank you. We got two new ones. Two new ones, yeah. One in and one coming, yeah. Two. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Doing okay?
You feeling good?
I think so.
We've skipped ahead in the book a little bit since
Okay.
she was here, because we're running about 15 minutes early.
Okay.
So
Well-
Shayna's budget is on, let's see, starting on page 82.
Mhm. Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners.
Good
Ms.
afternoon.
Nolly. This is Development Services proposed budget for 2024. I think for most of the items, we are consistent. There are just 3 line items that we requested increases for. And just basically our highlights, we're at year-to-date revenue is just north of 1.8 million. We are on track to complete our comp plan, and of course the CIE and short-term work program is coming up again, just to make sure we maintain our qualified local government status. And so far we've processed, just over 1,000 building permits, about 229 business licenses, and 1,500 renewals. Well, contracting is one of our items, but before I get to that, let me just do the smaller ones. So for education and training, it has almost doubled to 20,000. That is simply because we have filled positions that were, we filled them last year that were vacant. Just to send our code officers, I've had 5 of them, for them to get their GACE training and certifications, almost $1,000 a piece, and they have to go twice a year. So that's $10,000 right there. And I still have the remainder of the staff to have them trained. The building inspectors need to be certified. So that's why that has increased. And the other line item, we have our maintenance agreements. This is basically with Toshiba, as well as our Magnet program, which is our permitting software program. And this is where we run all our projects through, pay our permitting fees, everything. This is the Magnet program that we use for that. And we do anticipate some upgrades, so we're just catering for that. And the biggest item that we've actually increased for would be professional and contracting services. And these will cover, on the building side, commercial and residential plan review. For development plans, it's also the same, commercial and residential, and then inspections. And we're catering for in case we need to get an additional building inspector in case it picks up again. And then, of course, the MS4 program, which is really the lion's share of the inspections. And just briefly, the MS4 program, right now we're using the consultant team to help us with that, to just make sure that we meet all the state requirements. And it stands for the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System. It's just basically M and then the 4 S's, and that's how they abbreviated it. And the consultants, they're gonna help us with updating the stormwater management program, which we are required to submit to EPA. And it includes, the pollution prevention measures, treatment or removal techniques, monitoring our legal authority, and other appropriate measures, as long as we're in accordance and, protecting the state waters. We also have to complete an MS4 annual report. We have to submit this one every year. We just submitted last month. And this comprises of a number of best management practices, which we have other departments that also help us with that. And it includes doing our inspections for the stormwater facilities. Like these are the ponds, for example, the detention ponds. So we have to make sure, we have to inspect them regularly, just to make sure that they're up and working. We also have to report back to the state the conditions of, the county's facilities and outfalls.
Shana, can you do me a favor? Can you talk a little bit about, because I want to make sure that the commissioners don't miss it. Can you talk a little bit about the stormwater and how we used to have an office, and now we used to have a department, and now we don't, and all of this is kind of rolling over into your budget? Can you
Sure.
talk just a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, I was told about maybe 10 to 12 years ago, before the crash, probably around
2008.
Yeah, 2008. We actually had a stormwater department. It was initially housed under Water Resources, and then it went over to Public Works, and then GIS took it over for a little bit, and we've had it for the past few years. And this program alone, actually, it does require, a separate department to run it properly. We have been fortunate, with what we've submitted to the state so far, and being in compliance, they kind of understand, our staff shortages and so on, but it is not an excuse for them. We were audited last year for this same program, and we have responded to that, and they have accepted what we have discussed with them that we will do. So now we're held accountable for that, and we do have to do it, which is why I have the consulting firm working, which is why I've kept them to work with us so we come into compliance. but it has like a, there's a GIS component. Public Works also works with us, because when we do the inspections, and if there are issues with the facilities out there, we file a report with Public Works, and they go out and they complete the maintenance. And same with GIS, they assist us with mapping the locations of all these facilities, which is another requirement that, the state asks us for. So it's just a lot of moving parts with this program, and it's gonna take a little bit of work to get it back up to where it needs to be, but it is a state requirement, and we could face consequences. In addition to being fined, we can lose our LIA status, which is a local issuing authority status. Means we won't be able to issue any permits anymore. We won't be able to do our own reviews, and that will affect development projects. So when the subdivisions come in, when the commercial projects come in, if we don't have that LIA, we won't be able to do our permit. We'll have to send them out. We'll have to send it back to the state for them to do the reviews, and yeah,
So,
it was incorporated into my department, but yes, sir, for the past few years. And
so the department, in fairness, this department has really been, I think it went away in 2008 or 2009, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yes, when they let go some of the stormwater team, yeah.
And we've been trying to fill in and piece it together as we go along, but I think it came to a head now.
This is the domino effect
Yeah,
of this one department being phased.
and I think
Yeah.
Shayna and her team, along with Brittany and Chester, they're trying to get it back on track. That's why you
Yeah.
see the big increase in her budget.
Yeah, that's the $260,000 item. I mean, that's a conservative amount, but, we'll start with that. And professional contract. That's what we.
I see it decreased from last year to this year.
Well, the plan is coming to a close, so we won't have that anymore. But we do have, the impact fees are still there, and then we have the consulting team that is helping us with the in-house reviews. So that's why we have that there.
You good? Okay.
Oh, I think that's pretty much it. I wonder if there are any questions.
Yeah, and go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I do have a question. I want to, if we can, just for a moment, revert back to the Stormwater Department. How, if we were able to reestablish this department so that they can focus and concentrate on this major piece of our community, or the need that we need to address this stormwater concern, how many personnel would we need to bring this stormwater department back into effect?
It would be about 3 or 4. You need a stormwater engineer to lead it, and then stormwater techs, because they would actually assist with going out with the inspections. So I would say, about 3 to 4 employees, which I believe is what they had previously.
And with that being said, would it be a possibility, because I know right now, development services and transportation are collaboratively working together to address this concern,
And GIS too.
and GIS.
Yes.
Okay, and so is there a way, and I guess I don't know if GIS, transportation, and development services, if I've seen increase in your personnel budgets, would we be able to pull from the 3 of your departments where your increases were to be able to effectively reestablish this stormwater department? And that may be a question for Brittany. If we see the increases in those 3 departments, are we able to pull from those increases in those 3 departments to effectively reestablish this stormwater department? And if we were to do that, where would we put them? Like, who would they fall under
So I think,
I don't have.
can I jump in right quick?
Yes.
So I think the objective was to, was to contract it out so we can get, the professionals in to kind of show us what we need to do and then
Okay.
see can we get that department established. Is that
Okay.
correct? Shane?
Yes, we are,
Okay.
you know,
Okay,
we've
that
been
makes sense.
talking briefly of options of how to fund it.
Okay.
Whether it be a fee to the residents,
Coach,
a stormwater fee.
Can you kind of talk, and I know we're gonna be pushing for time, but can you kind of, just let them know how many, of these, just detention funds that we're talking about just off your head that has to have attention to them right away?
Yeah, well, as of 2021, we had about 309 total number of outfalls. So these are different types of facilities, not all ponds. There are other systems that work with that. You know, and the state they've amended the definition, you know, for what outfalls are. So for 2022, we're still trying to work with a consultant to figure out how many we're actually covered under that definition. So it's about 300 to 400. As a guesstimate for that. Well, based on the 2021 number. Right, in 2018, we had 418. In 2019, it was 494. So that is a range that we're working in, that we have to complete the inspections for.
So we kind of got to get our hands wrapped around it first, you know.
And we do have,
then
yeah.
That
see can
makes
we-
sense.
yeah.
That
And
makes
Keep Newton
sense.
Beautiful is the other department that helps as well. They work more on the education aspect. So they work in the schools, you know, educating the children on that. They work with the public, educating the public on it. So that's their BMP, which is like a best management practice. So the different departments have different BMPs, and Development Services has a lion's share of it right now. But, you know, like Tim was very instrumental in helping us get this last report, you know, through, because we really didn't have staff on hand to
Right.
do it. So that's why I kept the consultant. They're helping us to just really get it back online to where it needs to be. Certainly don't want to be audited again,
Yeah.
but, you know, that was a little close to comfort. So we really do need to, you know, pay some attention to this as much as we can, and as much as Brittany would allow us with funds.
And
to do
and
so.
legally, this is something that we
We are
have
required
We
to
have
do
to
it.
do it.
We
Yeah,
have to
we
do
are
it. We have to
required to do it by the state. You know, we don't want to be fined for it or to lose our
Yeah.
local issuing authority status.
So the increase in all three of those departments are collectively helping with the consultant, or is it just
That's just
development
me.
services?
That's just
No, no,
mine.
yeah.
Okay.
And my increase comes, yeah, that's basically the main source of my increase, is just
Right.
this additional money for the consultants.
Okay. Okay. Do we know how long that may take for those consultants to kind of help us get it back on track? Do we have an ETA? Do we know if,
When we did the RFP, it was for a 6 to 12-month period. So, you know, it's usually every February, we have to submit the annual reports to the state.
okay,
Yeah, so we're working with that right now, and then we can revisit it. Either we keep the consultant, or we, you know, hire a stormwater team to address this issue.
so when did the current consultant that you had, because I think they were working on the comprehensive plan, correct?
This is a different consultant.
Oh, it's a completely
Yes, sir.
different
They
one.
came
Okay.
on in, I think, January, the board approved it. January, February of this year.
Okay, so they will have until January, February of next year that they'll be in place to help us address this stormwater.
Unless we extend it, yes.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You have something, Commissioner Cow?
Yes, I went through this at the city when this first came out. I don't know why the county didn't really get on board with the stormwater, other than the fact that there was a case that came out of Columbus arguing whether it was a tax or a utility. The court case, to my recollection, it was somebody versus Columbus, Muskogee County. They really didn't give you any clarity of it. However, City of Covington went ahead and moved forward with it. The county has never paid a stormwater bill to the City of Covington. they argue that it's a tax. And I think there's some merit to that. Flip side of that is, if you put it on everybody's tax bill to collect the fee, you're gonna build a tremendous amount of money over a period of time. That goes back to stormwater uses. So it could use to be paid to help pay your staffing, contracting, things like that. So over a period of time, it's gonna pay for itself. It's probably something we need to do. I mean, I'm sure we have to do it legally. I was just wondering when it was ever going,
Yeah,
when somebody was gonna
obligated
jerk our
to.
chain on it. But you can collect these if somebody doesn't pay it, you know, they say, I don't think I wanna pay this. The law allows you to put a lien on their property. And when some closing attorney gets a hold of it, we make them pay that, clear it up before we transfer title.
Mhm.
So you'll eventually get your money.
Yeah.
It's actually, pretty safe as far as that goes.
Yeah, that is an option we are thinking about as well, to see how to fund it. Because I think the maintenance part is also pretty expensive. Just maintaining the county's property is what it
Yeah.
comes down to.
Yeah, the hardest part is figuring out a formula for valuation.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I've got to go over to HR
Okay,
for that meeting with that.
okay, yeah, okay,
You know what I'm talking about?
I got you.
All right, and I will be back.
Okay. Thank you,
Shana.
Thank you,
Thank
Shannon.
you, Chairman. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Commissioners.
Shannon, you did a great job presenting that. Thank you. That's something that we as board, I wish everybody was here, needed to know that information. You did a great job explaining that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I knew it. We'll do it on it. I know it. Let's not brag, cause they may come back. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, y'all.
How you doing?
Good. You all right, Mr. Chairman?
Doing good. Thanks for
Commissioner?
being here today.
Well, thank y'all for giving us a few minutes. I'll be brief on ours. I mean, did ask for small increase, and I'll just kind of hit those areas real quick on where we're looking at some increases. Probably the biggest jump you'll see is on grounds maintenance. It went up probably about $250, but it's kind of deceiving. We actually, our grass cutting, our pesticides, our weed control, all of that we moved up under this line item. So that was about $140,000 that had increased. We added some money for mulch for our playgrounds. We've got to get our playgrounds on at least a 6-month rotation so we can keep them safe for our children. So we did add some for there. So that, like I said, that looks worse than it is, but it is an increase there. Cleaning supplies, we bumped about 10 on that, but everything's just gotten expensive. We get a lot more rentals now. We also have to remember, when we actually been meeting with that all morning, Spring Hill Park will come on the last quarter of next year, so some of these increases will reflect us having to bring that on board and take care of that. We asked for a little bit in programs. Our program fees, we have not bothered program fees since '09, and everything we're doing now, from equipment to umpires to uniforms, have risen quite extensively. So we have asked for a little help in our programs, so we don't have to come back and ask to raise fees for participation. So right now we had $140 for baseball, $110 for basketball, $150 for football. And actually we're higher than any county around us. I think Walton's at 95, Madison, Morgan County is right at 95. So to keep from having to go up, we are asking for a little bit of help there to help cover some expenses. We did ask for one maintenance position, mainly coming back to Spring Hill Park coming on next quarter, or next year, the last quarter of next year. And then one more quick thing that I'll kind of touch on, conversation y'all had last Tuesday night on our parks. We have asked for a little bit of capital monies to start putting cameras in our parks. And we had already turned all that in, so hopefully we'll be able to start doing that. And I know we need to do that, so we have asked for some to help starting to do that. The other parks we're building, Spring Hill Park, cameras is included. The new building out Stone Road, cameras is included. So any new construction, we're including that up front.
Dwayne, quick question, since you said that, how would that be monitored? How will y'all monitor that? Would that be monitored on a daily basis or as needed?
Probably like the one we're doing at Stone Road, and Matt May can help me a little bit with this because he does a lot of that. Greg's got it set up to where we can monitor it from our office.
Okay, so on a daily basis, you can
Right,
look
we can
at,
monitor
okay,
it daily basis.
All right.
And then if we need, something were to happen and we need to make a copy of something, we can do that. So,
okay.
yeah.
What, parks? Oh, no, he's talking about all the parks. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of like what we have here, if I may say, it's kind of like what we have here. We have a hub here that we can watch different locations throughout the county. So I'm thinking it's kind of a similar system
That's
that
right.
you would be incorporating over there.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And will you have to have we had to have an extra body to, extra personnel to watch that, or?
I think right now the way we're set up is all the cameras are all the monitors in Matt's office, and he
Okay.
can monitor that. So
Okay,
we'd probably just continue it like that.
okay. Any questions? Mr. Commissioner Mason?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Dwayne.
Yes, sir.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Every single time that I reach out to you, you always are effective in helping reach the desired objective every single time. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
You mentioned the program fees. I didn't see a line item for program fees. Is it under a different line item title?
Program fees is a revenue. So this is expenses only.
Ah, that's why I don't see it. Because it's a revenue.
Yes.
Makes sense. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
That was my only question, because I was
Okay.
like, wait a minute, hold on. I don't see that on here, but it's a revenue.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah. And we have this, I mean, this calendar or this budget cycle from football, basketball, and now baseball, softball. I mean, all of our numbers are up. Probably right at 100 for football, about 150 for basketball. Don't sound like a lot, but when you talk about 8 kids on a team, you're looking at about 15 or 20 extra teams. And baseball, softball's up right close to 200. We had over 1,000 kids this year, and that's the first time we've been over 1,000 in quite a while. So,
Yep.
yeah, so I think our numbers, as we're finally growing here in the county, our numbers are starting to catch up with us. So.
That's good.
That is good. With that being said, Brittany, do we know, either you or Dwayne, about how much we generate in revenue from those program fees on an annual basis? Just a rough estimate? Because that revenue helps cover some of our expense costs.
Correct.
Right, but some of it.
I don't, you know roughly what we're bringing in, Greg? About 275 or 280, somewhere in that area.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
And I
good.
think, talking with Brittany, we brought in about 40,000 more this year than we actually budgeted for the numbers of, because the numbers have went up, so. And we're gonna make a couple adjustments to help offset our, we've been doing Junior Hawks for the last 4 or 5 years, but it's awful expensive. We can do uniforms a whole lot less, and they'll also help us offset some of the expenses that we got. I mean, the kids and all love it, but I think when you see what it costs us to what we can do different, I think it's,
So are we looking to go away from that? Okay.
Go away from what again?
Junior Hawks for our
Okay.
basketball program.
Okay.
Like I said, our kids love it, but I think with what we're finding out is out of 600 kids, we may have 150 actually using the tickets that they get. So I think it's just a big savings if we just kind of go back to ordering the uniforms like we used to and kind of doing away with that expense.
Okay. Do we know how much that expense is?
This year, we spent about $24,000 for 600 kids, and we can probably do uniforms for 12 to 15. Now, it'd be less than that, it'd probably be about 11. So we would save 10 or 11,000 on going back to just doing uniforms and not.
So would you do that after this current basketball season, just kind of phase it out?
Yes, sir.
And so the next 24, 20,
So we would
What's
probably,
this
this coming season, we
Yeah.
would not do it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been to the point where we've had a little bit of program money left to kind of pay ahead on uniforms,
Mhm.
and we're not gonna have that this year.
Okay.
So,
So it'd been a 25 budget.
sir,
It'd been a 25 budget.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what-
No,
it'll be in
it's
this one.
24, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be
Oh,
in
would it
this
been 24?
Yes, sir.
one. Yeah,
Well,
it'll be in
will?
this one.
Yeah, be this one
Okay.
coming up, yes, sir.
Okay.
Right.
So we're going back to the Newton County logos.
Go back to the Newton County logo and
Okay.
just bid them out like we do our other uniforms.
Cool. Any more questions?
I'm good.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you for
Thank
being
y'all.
here. You and your staff. Thank y'all. You do a great job. Thank you so
y'all, I
much.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kel, Matt,
Thank you, Kel,
and
Matt.
Greg over there. Thank you,
Yes,
Greg.
Greg, thank you.
Up next, we have Ashley Best with the Extension Office, and her information can be found on page 80.
Good afternoon. How you
Hey
doing?
guys. So we very small again this year, but we did have a huge increase. I say huge, but big for us. We have a big increase in our travel funds that we like. We have 2 full-time agents now. Me being the ag agent, I'm going to be traveling at 2 national meetings this year. One is actually an international grasslands conference that I've been asked to speak at. So I'm representing Newton County well, and our 4-H agent as well. She will be competing and presenting at the National 4-H Conference. So that's why we're asking for those increases this year in those budgets for travel, just so that we're going to those national conferences and representing Newton County and the state of Georgia. So. And we did increase our general operating supplies by $500. We found that we kept continuously meeting that budget line and trying to go over a little bit. So just due to the increase of overall operating expenses, we've increased by $500 there. Is my part-time program assistant position?
It's not in the budget.
Okay.
So when we get a little bit further on into the non-departmental, we'll talk about all the new positions that were requested, and it's on that.
Okay.
And then one thing about the extension and 4-H budget is they receive funding from multiple different places, so county, school, and University of Georgia. So.
Okay.
Do y'all have any questions?
Do you want to, I mean, you can tell us about that position if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we currently are serving right around 900 4-H youth every single month, and we are in over 40 club meetings. So that's split between Charlene and DJ Dobbs. He's our full-time program assistant. So we're asking for a part-time program assistant just to help alleviate some of those club meetings that fall on Charlene's plate, our 4-H agent. That will free her up to do more programming towards like Adulting 101, life skills, working with the high school students, going in as guest speakers, doing more during the day presentations that an agent would do. And then the program assistant would be covering those in-school club meetings with the students with that prepared curriculum by our 4-H agent. So.
Okay. And how much is that increase? You know?
It's a part-time position, so
It's
it's only
one-
20
okay,
hours. Yeah, it's a
okay,
part-time position.
okay.
So it's only 20 hours a week,
I got
so
you.
it shouldn't be that much.
I got you.
They haven't put in around 37,000.
Okay.
that's the salary of a full-time program assistant.
Well, that also, let's see.
No, we don't get paid enough. I will say, I am actually going up for promotion. It won't be on this year's budget, but it'll hopefully be on next year's budget. I'm going up for promotion with UGA, and so that will be a salary increase for me if I get that promotion, so.
Congratulations ahead of time.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a 90-page document that I have to write.
Wow.
I know. Anyways,
Yeah, wow.
might as well go through my pocket. Thanks.
We can, get with me on that
Okay.
salary. That would include, like, the benefits too, so FICA, Social Security, part-time would
That's what I'm saying,
be
part-time
eligible for
benefits,
healthcare and
mm-mm.
stuff, but you'd have, the FICA,
Mhm.
retirement,
Mhm.
so we'll kind of figure out
Okay.
if that number's right.
Okay.
So the 37,000 is salary plus benefits. Okay.
Yes.
Anything else? Any more questions? No? Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you tell DJ that Chairman Banks said wash his hands? He'll know what I'm,
Okay.
yeah, he'll know,
okay,
he'll know what I'm
alright.
talking about.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen
I-
our office?
I have, and tell him I said wash
Okay.
his hands.
Yes.
Yeah. He was
yes,
playing
good.
with a snake every day. I'm
Perfect.
like,
Yeah.
man, wash your hands,
Her
bro.
name's Trish. I call her Trish. She's so awesome. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Yes. We are still looking for a location.
So, I got something that I'm gonna bring to the board, relatively soon, so just be a little patient.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay?
I am good. So you
All right.
just keep me in a loop with whatever I need to know.
We definitely will.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Tell DJ to wash his hands. Yeah, yeah. He on there playing with a snake all day. Nah, brother. You need to wash his hands. Every time I go, they tell me, come here, Chairman, man. I'm like, man, wash your hands, man. Nah, no, he got the snake in his hands. Yeah. No, no, I don't do that. No. I don't do no snakes. Cut this off. Let me cut this off. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You too.
Who we got next?
Next is.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna kind of cover some of the non-departmental items that really are not covered by internal departments.
Okay.
We're good on that. So the first one is just the streetlights department. The streetlights is essentially just a fee that's put back on people's tax bills, but it is a standalone department internally, so the revenue offsets the expense on the streetlight department. That one's pretty straightforward. The next one is non-departmental. So this one is where we, in the early on preliminary budget, we just kind of use this to hold figures until we progress through the budget. The first one is health insurance. I think I got finalized numbers today, but of course this was kind of put together prior to that. But I did put just a bump of 200,000. We knew we would see probably a substantially less percentage increase, but I've been hearing about 2%, so that's where the 200,000 came from. The Social Security, retirement, other employee benefits, all of those are the holiday incentive that we do. That's a bulk of that. That also includes a lot of our employee benefits that are found in our handbook, such as tuition reimbursement. We do paternity leave, maternity leave. We do longevity bonuses for people that have been here for 20 years. And then we also do vacation buyback at the end of the year. So all of those numbers are housed in those retirement, Social Security, and other employee benefit line items. And then the other one is contingency for new positions. At that point, that was just kind of a hold number until we decide what positions are needed and what are not. we have substantially larger requests than 350,000. And then reserved for fiscal year changes, so that's basically our contingency line for the year. I always like to see a minimum of 500,000 in there, so that's the hold number at this point in the budget. Are there any questions about those? Okay, the next one is the payment to outside agencies. So these are, I'm not gonna hit on this too much, cause these are gonna be the numbers that will be presented on Thursday at the workshop. So these are your appropriations. Any questions about those? And then, other financing uses is the other department that we kind of have under the non-departmental functions. So the transfer out to E911, Trudy Henry should be here a little bit later today, but that one is the number that they usually have to balance their budget. So E911 is a little bit different, where they're kind of split between the county and, well, they generate revenues from your phone bills, and then they generally need to offset from the general fund from both us and the city of Covington. So that is the number that they'll need from the county this year to be able to balance their budget. Operating transfers into grant fund. So those would be our match pieces on the grants that we know that departments are planning on applying for this year. So that's 302,000. We always like to budget around 75,000 too for unexpected grants. The transfer out to solid waste, that is the portion that is transferred out to cover the solid waste bond that was part of the East Georgia land settlement. And then the transfer out to Gaithers and Factory Shells, I split them up this year so we could see a true picture of what goes to Gaithers and what goes to Factory Shells. In the past they had been lumped together, but I wanted a true picture of which goes to which, because they're both housed in the same fund. So that's why the one for Factory Shoals was 0 last year, and then Gaithers obviously shows more last year. But so the transfer into Gaithers to balance that budget would be 70,000, and then for Factory Shoals it would be 132. So and then pension. I don't know if we want to talk about pension now or later.
I prefer to wait to, hopefully some of the more the commissioners that they will come, cause this is something that's so important for these employees. I think it's yeah, we definitely gotta talk about it twice.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Okay.
if we can hold off on that until we get more here,
Yeah.
it would be great.
All right.
And we do value Commissioner Mason. Now, I'm not saying that we don't,
Oh, no,
but,
I understand.
yeah. Yeah, he had,
We are gonna have to repeat it again.
We're gonna have to-
Because it's
yep.
such
hot topic.
a hot topic.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for those who are here who truly are concerned about
Yep.
that, they're gonna ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know Commissioner Henderson is a big supporter of that anyway, so, you know, yeah.
Okay, so
And I
I
know-
think we can wait till we're over here. What about new positions? You want to talk about new position requests now, or do you want to wait for that too?
They wanna, those two things that we definitely have to talk to the whole board about, because it's gonna make such a, impact on the budget itself. So let's hold off on those two things.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think at this point we had a break. If we want to take a quick little, I mean, we're running way ahead of time. So,
Y'all wanna break or y'all
or
wanna,
do you want to let James go?
you wanna take a
okay.
break? Oh, go ahead. We'll take a break.
He's not done it yet.
We'll take a break, 15 minutes. Oh. I need to call my mom anyway. She keep calling me, talking about, baby, call me.
There you go.
Department got, she has that too. Yep. So yes, I figured it would be, best to move those. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon. How are y'all?
It's a great day to be here in Newton County, and it's a great day to be a dog.
I agree with the first part. Not so much the second part.
Welcome.
Well, how are y'all doing this afternoon? I'm gonna keep it brief. This year in the water resources, we have an exciting year thus far. Outside of the grant that was awarded, we're wrapping up the 2017 expansion. So we have some funding mechanisms that'll be changing on our budget to support those payments. We're also about to kick off another project, it's actually several projects to expand the facility and decommission another one. So with that being said, we are about to embark on relooking at our water rate analysis. Once that is complete, we will bring that to the board for review, just so we can keep y'all abreast of what's going on in the Water Resource Department.
Can you do that? Because we did, just a little earlier, we had Commissioner Calvin was talking about, Sarah was here talking about economic development and some of the projects that we was doing, and he was talking about need. We need to make sure that we keep in mind that we may have the need for Bear Creek a little sooner than what we first thought that we would. So keep that in the back of your mind while you're planning and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Currently, we're working with, partnering with the Water and Sewerage Authority and the City of Covington, actually looking at redoing our water system master plan. We set a goal for 2050. Once this industries moved in, they kind of changed our target. So now we're planning for 2075. So we're looking at all different aspects, water quality, sewer, everything. We're leaving no stone unturned. So we are looking at that as well. So we should have something to present to the board, hopefully in a few months.
Okay, and I did tell tell them about the potential of having some storage tanks placed in when we fill City Pond.
Yes. What we'll do is in the decommissioning of the William Street facility, in place of that that plant, we will put in a ground storage tank and water pump station to help supply in the event of emergency and just for routine demand, filling those needs with that tank there. We also up in discussions for the City Pond.
Okay.
We don't have a deadline right now. The application has been submitted to EPD and we're just waiting on response back.
Thank you, sir.
So looking at the budget, we pretty much did not ask for anything additional. Our water rates pretty much is gonna stay the same. Actually, I think it just went up very slightly. So our demand projections increased slightly. We did put those funds into our depreciation fund, which will help support the renewal and extension and replacement of large ticket items. Since this project, the 2017 project, has been completed, so we do expect that payment to increase because of all the new equipment that's been rolled on board. So that's pretty much the main thing that the main difference in this year's budget. Just open up for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions, Commissioner?
Thank you, my friend, for being here. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Always, and for the work that you do. Can you explain to me, and I think that might be what we were just previously talking about, the increase in the sites line item from 63,620 to 110, and then also the vehicle line item.
Okay, the vehicle line item is replacement of 2 vehicles. We're hoping we'll be able to find one this fiscal year and just utilize funds that we have for that. The truck has been very hard to find. The other one is a replacement of a vehicle that's reached the end of its useful life. The sites, which
It says sites, it went.
Right
from
up on
that-
uniform.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be, if I'm not mistaken, okay, that's moving the control room for the operators from the second floor to the first floor. We recently, in this expansion, this project that we are completing, we are off chlorine gas, so that left that room, which is a pretty vast room.
Mhm.
I think it's, if I remember right, it's 30 by 80. So it's, right now, it's just empty. So this would allow us to more centralize our operational staff into the downstairs area, so they have easier access to get to all the outlying areas more efficiently and more quickly.
I think that was all I had. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna do factory shows.
I feel air.
Yeah, come.
This is, just as a reminder, he's the water fund, so he's an enterprise fund, so he operates off his own user fees and not general fund money. And the Factory Shoals that he's presenting next, Factory Shoals and Gaithers are in the same fund, 556.
Okay, with factory shows, we did this fiscal year, we're actually adding in, hopefully it was being installed today, but we are in the process of upgrading and updating the playground equipment at that facility. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, because of the rain, they wasn't able to do the installation today. But once that is complete, we will make the board aware, and we'll also update the website to show those pictures as well. The tenant, the manager that's down there has been doing a great job. He's been keeping up the sites, actually upgraded the bathhouse that's on the campground side by putting in some heating in the area, so the customers can actually take a shower and heat, not just being cold. But he's also upgraded floors by painting, putting slick floors down, the doors, the painting. It looks a lot more receptive than what it was previously. Also upgraded the sites by just keeping those nice and clean and things of that nature. This year we are anticipating increasing our fees, so we will come with some numbers to the board for approval going into FY '24. Really, this year is just more about maintenance, just keeping the facility looking nice. So really not any capital improvements that's going to be happening at that site. It's just more about just upkeep and just O&M.
Thank you, sir. No questions? Greatly appreciate you, sir.
All right, thank y'all. You have a great day.
All right. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Yeah, he heard. Oh.
Hello, everyone. We will present on behalf of Gaithers at Myrtle Creek Farm. I do want to introduce our new project coordinator, Ms. Imani Lucky.
Hello, hello.
So she will be taking on the responsibility of handling not only Gaither as a property, but filming as well for Newton County. So of course, this year is going to be a very eventful one for her, but projects that will be coming on board, events that will be coming on board for the county, Imani will be handling them. However, we have been tasked at this moment to present our budget that is actually coming for 2023, 2024. And the good news is we did not make much of a adjustment for the budget. if you're reviewing the numbers, we've kept everything the same with the opportunity of improvement for specifically advertising, which is absolutely going to be necessary, and for our general operating and supplies. As a new coordinator, she is definitely going to have to promote, she's going to have to advertise, she's going to have to draw people, and she has a wonderful gift of advertising, social media. She's in that area now where she's already has these wonderful ideas, and you guys will see soon and very soon information that she's going to be sending out regarding the opportunities that Gaither presents. So with the social media outlet, with advertising using the normal newspaper, flyers, flags, banners, all of that, that information will be coming to you guys very, very soon. I will speak in projection as the marketing and as the promotion improves. The budget may increase in the future, but we have to have a foundation. There is a huge opportunity for filming. We've already heard that since we've already done the Waltons for Thanksgiving, then they came back, the Waltons did Christmas. The Waltons have already indicated that they will be coming back this year for the entire series. So they are discussing September through December in filming the Walton series as a whole. So we've got prior to September to kind of prepare and get Gaithers ready. And then also after they have wrapped up filming, the first of the year, we're going to actually work on beautification. That is going to be a huge undertaking for Miss Imani. She's already discussed some of the improvements. She's been down to the property. She's taken several pictures. She's worked with Brandon, the property technician. She's indicated things that need to be done ASAP, as well as things that need to be done after the property, right, long-term, and after the property has been relinquished back to us after the film wraps. So again, the only thing that we see right here that has has increased slightly is we had to do public works where they're going to re-gravel, repave the driveway, because once the film company leaves, they have some remnants there, but we want to make sure that it's a clean entranceway coming in and it's attractive. And again, general operating and supplies, and definitely advertising. So there's not very much more to discuss. I know that with Gaither being an event space, with Newton County truly being an event county, there's so many opportunities for films, weddings, proms, reunions, conferences, carnivals, cookouts, teas, team building events. So there are so many opportunities that not only Gaither offers, but for filming, Newton County offers, and that's what we are going to support Imani in doing this upcoming year. She has a fantastic mind, and it's open to all kinds of opportunities, and so you all will definitely see that in the upcoming year. With that being said, looking at the numbers and with everything remaining the same, are there any questions?
Go ahead,
Okay.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Welcome, Imani.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I am looking forward to working with you, hearing your presentation on how we can really take this property and really make it a great part of our community. And even in addition to that, making it a historical part of our community. I am a part of the National Association of Counties Economic Mobility Leadership Network. I was in Alabama a couple months ago, and there is an area in Alabama that they have taken and made it into a what is the word I'm looking for?
Historic?
It's historic, but they've turned it into a it just left my brain, tourist attraction. And it is they're part of their African American community that has the African American grave site. It has a recreational facility. It has a lot of their homes. They have done things like placed historical markers around their community, and they've really begun to highlight that part of their community and made it into a revenue generating type of for their community, making it a tourist attraction. And so I would really love to see Gaithers as a part of that, being a part of our tourist attraction, where, you know, who knows, maybe one day we may be able to have that as a historical site where when people come to Newton County, they can visit there on a tour bus, and we are generating revenue from that being one of our sites of tour. It was previously brought to our attention, I think, Mr. Chair, was that back in 2019 when we had an archaeologist come and explain to us, explain to us that there is a African American grave site, slave grave site that's there. To my knowledge and my understanding, previous boards, when they purchased this property, it was supposed to be so that we can now educate the community over things that this site could share with this community. And so I would love for us to stay on that same objective in making it an educational site as well as event.
Absolutely.
You know, so it has a dual role within our community. And then adding tourism, if by some chance we get to that point. I do know that the city of Covington, their Welcome Center, and I mentioned this before, they're now moving into even putting African American artifacts there in the Welcome Center.
We've seen it.
And so why not partner with that and bring in Gaithers and say, hey, we're gonna put historical markers throughout the city, throughout the unincorporated county, to highlight different things that happen within this community and make Gaithers one of our sites to do that. So I wanted to put that out there as an innovative idea. You already have it?
Yes.
Good.
I am so glad you mentioned
Good.
that. We're not
Yes.
going to speak to it much, but just so you know that there is things in the works, discussing
Good.
between she and I
Good.
of how we can bring our history
That's
to
right.
that property and pay
That's right.
homage to the
That's correct.
lives that were lost.
That is correct.
So that is definitely, you're already on the same path we are, to make sure that everybody who, their families and lost lives were acknowledged
That's
for the foundation and the lives that were passed on. So
That's
yes.
correct. I'm a firm believer that sometimes you can take things that may have been negative to a community and turn it into a positive.
I'm a product of that environment.
We all are, or I know a lot of us are.
Yes.
We are all a product of, you know, having a negative situation or a not so good. I don't like to say bad, but I always say a not so good situation, and turn that around into something positive and make it a great part of your community. My other question was, when we talked about the public work repairs, the regraveling and the repaving, have we by any chance looked at, when we do contractual agreements with those that are coming into filming, possibly taking some of that expense and including it in their contractual agreement where the full amount is not on the county for that maintenance, so that it can eliminate, or maybe not totally eliminate, but at least reduce and possibly eliminate, if they're open to that, because they're utilizing it and it's causing this area, would they be willing to share in some of those expenses? Have we thought about putting that in the contract?
Yes, and we are so open to that. However, a good part of it, when we utilize our county spaces, when someone uses our space, they have to put it back in the same condition or better. That is a part of the contract. in order to actually have them absorb some of the fees, we're going to rely on our board, I apologize, we're gonna have to rely on our board to allow us to also look at revenue generating opportunities such as increasing the fees.
Okay.
Because as time progresses through COVID, our prices have remained the same, and there is such an opportunity to increase what we are currently charging versus what they really could be billed, to make sure that the county is getting the revenue and Gaither is getting the revenue that it deserves for that property, especially with exclusive reservations.
Okay.
So that is a great suggestion. We are definitely open to that. We support it, but we're also going to rely on your support to allow us to generate the revenue that's available to us at that time.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like to me that you all are already on the
We're ready.
cusp
We're ready.
of making this a great part of our
And
community.
you're going to be invited.
Thank you. I would love to be there. I can't wait. I'm excited. But that's all I had. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I'm gonna add to that. The great part is that, the board entered into an agreement with, Dr. Alvarado. So we do have a resolution in place that we work with her, to help with, making that a,
Historic.
historical place. And the enslaved, that are down there, we wanna make sure that we do them justice.
That's
Um,
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
and we make sure, that, because right now, it's just, they sitting out there in the woods, you know what I'm saying? So, we're gonna bring the right attention to it that is needed. And we're happy to have her money with us.
We are.
And I think she's gonna be able to do some great things down there. Anything else? Thank you, ladies. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Great job. That's it. That's everything? True, yep. Yep. Yeah, I talked to her. To the time? Yeah. Quick question.
The advertising piece, so what specifically are we gonna be advertising, and do we know where? Do we know those details, Mr. Wood?
For the property itself?
Yes,
Yeah.
I forgot to ask.
So
I'm
she-
sorry, Imani, I forgot to ask the question.
So she's gonna roll out. She hasn't had an opportunity to complete her plan together yet.
Okay,
Once she complete her plan, she's gonna present it to us,
okay,
what she plan on doing.
I'll wait.
Yeah.
Right. Just so that you're aware, though, I did speak with Mr. Chris Malcolm as well as Chester today, and they're gonna also assist us in property maintenance. So that should help us quite a bit.
Okay, all right, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I will ask this, did she have to add anything, or are we good at this time?
No, she's good. She
Okay.
still has a deadline to submit her proposal, so
Absolutely.
Right.
you're
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
So, Commissioner Mason, do you have anything for Brittany? Any questions? You have,
I think the only thing that I have for Brittany, and I think we talked about it, was just the impact fee detail report. Do you think it would be best, once you compile that report, that you just email it out to the board, or would you rather present it to us in a public forum? Or public meeting?
Whatever.
so let me jump in because I want to remind y'all, I don't know if you remember or not, but you guys, kind of tasked us to see if we want to start back putting impact fees on commercial as well. So we probably need to, if we're gonna do something, we probably need to do it, in a public meeting. Yeah.
And we could probably do that in conjunction with when the consultant comes and makes presentation, whether it's a work session or whatever, we could probably do that in conjunction with that.
Okay.
Cause Shayna's working with a consultant, on revising the impact fee ordinance.
However we do it, I'm
Mhm.
fine. I know once we get it, I would love to kind of put that out there to kind of put some things to rest. because it has been brought to my attention that, the only reason, well, historically, the reason why those impact fees were started was to 100% go into Parks and Recreation. So that's how it was told to me,
That's not
that
true.
like how we have different buckets,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't originally intended for different buckets. It was only originally intended for just Parks and Recreation and Parks and Recreation only.
So when you got a community that moves here, or new development, somebody got to upkeep the roads. Somebody has to fire, police it. Somebody had to do those things, as well as you need Parks and Rec a part of that. So it's hard to believe that you skipped over all of that and just put everything in Parks and Rec. You know, you're doing a disservice to the sheriff department. You're doing a disservice to Public Works when you say that, and fire. So it's hard to believe that point.
And yeah, the impact fees is what built Porter Memorial, Library.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep. And then we need to make sure too, if we're gonna move forward with changing, the impact fees, when we were putting a tax on, commercial development, we need to make sure we get with economic development, because they're gonna have to change their setup, because right now, you know, it's not an impact when people move in. So we need to make sure we do that.
And I think, honestly, I believe that we definitely should do that, because right now, the impact fees are just on residential, correct? And it's not on commercial.
Well, the reason we did that, I think that we did it the year before you came on board, and I think the reason why we did it was, at that point, we didn't really there wasn't a lot of booming going on, but since then, it's a ton, and you know, it'll be very beneficial if that was put in place.
Because that will increase impact fees, correct?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Drastically, increase them and allow us to now have more funding to be able to put into those buckets, and we can do more, with those.
And your impact fee is a capital fund, so it's,
Right.
you know, there to help with address capital needs, which is, as we all know, is very needed.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I have.
And that's it. I guess we're gonna see everybody at 9 o'clock in the morning, round 2. I think we have our constitutional officers tomorrow. Look forward to seeing, I think we have the sheriff, tax commissioner, probate judge, and our, clerk of courts. Thank all of you for being here today. Thank the rest of the commissioners that came earlier. We look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.